morning sun peeked through the tall glass windows of the corporate building, casting a golden glow over the polished floors. At the very top of this building, in a corner office with a view of the city skyline, sat a man named Grayson Cole. Grayson was the CEO of Cole Enterprises, a company known for its innovative tech solutions and a workforce of over 1,000 employees. But today, Grayson wasn't sitting in his leather chair, sipping coffee or reviewing reports. Today, he was someone else entirely. Grayson had always believed in leading by example. He prided himself on being a hands-on leader, but lately, something felt off. The numbers looked good, the projects were on track, but there was a disconnect. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but he felt it in his gut. So he decided to do something drastic, something he had never done before. He decided to go undercover. With the help of his trusted assistant, Marcus, Grayson transformed himself into a janitor. He swapped his tailored suits for a simple uniform, his polished shoes for worn-out sneakers, and his confident stride for a humble shuffle. He even changed his name for the role, Greg. No one would suspect that Greg, the quiet janitor with a mop and bucket, was actually the CEO of the company. Grayson's first day as Greg was humbling. He arrived early, just like he always did, but this time, he entered through the service entrance. The security guard, a kind man named Harold, gave him a nod. "First day, huh? Don't worry, you'll get the hang of it." Grayson smiled faintly. "Thanks, I'll do my best." As he pushed his cart through the hallways, he noticed things he had never seen before. The way the fluorescent lights buzzed faintly, the scuff marks on the walls that no one bothered to fix, the faint smell of coffee that lingered in the air. He also noticed the people, real people, not just employees. There was Derek, the young intern who always looked like he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. There was Lucas, the middle-aged manager who seemed to be constantly on edge. And then there was Omar, the cheerful IT guy who always had a joke ready but whose eyes told a different story. Grayson kept his head down, cleaning floors and emptying trash bins, but his ears were wide open. He wanted to hear what people said when they thought no one important was listening. It was during his lunch break that Grayson overheard something that stopped him in his tracks. He was sitting in a corner of the break room, pretending to eat a sandwich, when Derek and Lucas walked in. They didn't notice him. "I don't know how much longer I can do this," Derek said, his voice trembling. "I'm working 12-hour days, barely making rent, and my mom's medical bills are piling up. I thought this job would be my big break, but it's just breaking me." Lucas sighed, running a hand through his thinning hair. "I hear you, kid. I've been here for 15 years, and it's the same story. The higher-ups don't care about us. They just want results. I haven't seen my kids in weeks because of these deadlines. And don't even get me started on the pay cuts." Grayson's heart sank. He had no idea things were this bad. He had always assumed that the company's success meant everyone was thriving, but now he realized how wrong he was. As the days went by, Grayson continued to listen and observe. He learned about the struggles of his employees, the sleepless nights, the missed family moments, the constant pressure to perform. But he also discovered something else, something that gave him hope. One evening, as he was cleaning the IT department, he overheard Omar talking to a colleague. "I know things are tough," Omar said, "but we can't give up. We're a team. If we support each other, we can get through this. I've been saving a bit of money to help Derek with his mom's bills. It's not much, but it's something." Grayson was moved to tears. Here was a man who had every reason to be bitter, yet he was choosing to be kind. It was a wake-up call for Grayson. He realized that the true strength of the company wasn't in its profits or products, it was in its people. After a week undercover, Grayson decided it was time to reveal the truth. He called an all-hands meeting, but this time, he didn't stand at the podium as the CEO. He stood in the middle of the room, still dressed as Greg. "I want to tell you a story," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "A story about a man who thought he knew everything about his company, but realized he knew nothing about the people who made it great." As he spoke, the room fell silent. He talked about what he had seen and heard, the struggles, the sacrifices, the quiet acts of kindness. He apologized for being blind to their pain and promised to make things right. From this day forward, he said, we're going to do things differently. We're going to prioritize people over profits. We're going to support each other, not just as colleagues, but as family. The changes didn't happen overnight, but they happened. Grayson implemented new policies, better pay, flexible hours, mental health support. He also created a fund to help employees in need, inspired by Omar's selflessness. The company didn't just survive these changes, it thrived. The employees were happier, more motivated, and more productive. And Grayson? He became a different kind of leader, one who led with his heart as much as his head. As he stood in his office one evening, looking out at the city lights, he felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. He had started this journey to find out what was wrong with his company, but in the end, he found something much more important. He found his humanity. And that, dear friends, is a story worth remembering.
That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.